Hi all, welcome back to the final whistle then for the evening whistle. Big chances missed, more points dropped for Leicester City as they drew 0-0 with Watford yesterday, and big opportunity missed with obviously Oxford losing at Southampton and Portsmouth losing bloody 6-1 to QPR. QPR had 6 touches in the box and scored all 6 yesterday, so interesting. We got in Pompey. Pompey's side it has a lot of shots, not a lot getting into the back of the net. The Leicester problem. Am I repeating, Eli?
1 second.
Oh, well, there we go. Dan, how are we?
All good. All good.
I was just waiting for you to get back so I could.
Oh yeah, I thought I had enough time to get a glass of water, but I didn't.
Anyway, you got to wet the whistle. No pun intended, of course. Anyway, Watford 0, Leicester 0. Oh, a goalless game. I thought as the game went on yesterday, it was going to be a bloody 0-0 game. It sort of had written all over it that just both sides just couldn't find a clear-cut opportunity in the halves, but then Leicester having the bigger chances of both sides yesterday, I thought. But a point, Eli. What do you saw before we discuss Patson Daka and the stinker that he had yesterday afternoon? What do you take from the Watford game? Because I felt personally it's 2 points dropped for me coming out of Vicarage Road yesterday. It was a big opportunity with scores. Some of the scores going against us yesterday. Obviously, West Brom and Blackburn went against us, but then the other two went for us, and we'd obviously moved up a place since 22nd and still in the relegation zone. So, is it 2 points dropped? What's your thoughts?
You're on mute, mate.
He's on mute.
Yeah, sorry, it's too early to say at the moment, I think, because I think the Easter weekend is going to be so crucial, and then if we get 2 good results over Easter, that then looks like a really good point. I think if we come out of the back end of Easter Monday having dropped points at either against Preston or God forbid if we drop points at Sheffield Wednesday, that then does definitely feel like 2 points lost. But I think, personally, I saw a lot more heart, a lot more character, a lot more pride. They're 3 of the words that I've written down that I took from yesterday, which is probably I haven't been able to say those 3 words for a while, to be honest. Maybe the Bristol City game, but again, we've discussed that one in detail, haven't we? Around we thought we were, but definitely from what I saw, there was more heart, more character, more pride, more battling. Looked like they were playing for the badge, playing for each other again. But again, is it going to be? Is it 1 point gained? Is it 2 points lost? I think. Ask me again in 2 weeks' time when we've got through those 2 fixtures, because I think that's going to shape our season now.
Well, this is what me and Dan discuss a lot when we do the previews, and that we talk about character, we talk about fighting the team. Leicester look a lot more better away from home than we do at home. We picked up a lot more points away from home. Obviously, we picked up 3 points at Bristol City home, but then we picked up 4 points away from home under Gary Rowett. So he's took over for 7 games now, is it? Is it 7 games? So he's had a lot more feel of what he thinks now needs to go going forward. Dan, how would you sort of describe yesterday's 0-0 draw with Watford?
Well, like I say, I'm very much similar to Eli. It will depend on what happens over the bank holiday weekend. That is probably the biggest weekend in the club's history, to be fair, and potentially two of the biggest games. Okay, we could say FA Cup final and all that, but it's not the same parameters in the fact of how severely it can affect us and the club's future and in the direction the club's going in. So, as we said, if we get 2 wins, 7 points then from 3 games, it's a good point away from home against the side that are supposed to be, outsiders for the playoffs. I mean, to be fair, yes, we looked a hell of a lot better than we have done in recent games. We looked to dictate the play. We had more control. We kept another clean sheet, which is also a bonus. All these things that we can highlight as being positives and being good positives. But still, when you watch the 90 minutes, 90 plus minutes, I should say, Watford's looked like they had at least one flip-flop on, if not both at times. So, you do have to capitalise on those moments if a side is doing it. I could be doing a complete injustice, and we could have been that much better than them over the 90 minutes. We were good, but you'd still expect us to be putting aside away with the opportunities that we created.
Yeah. Let's say hello to the chat. Rich, how are we? Hi, Jack and everyone. Really need to get wins. The Easter weekend is going to be huge. That's what Eli and Dan's alluded to.
Jack, I think as well, mate, just think about that Easter weekend. That Easter Monday, not only have we got Sheffield Wednesday, but Portsmouth have got Oxford.
Yeah.
Blackburn have got West Brom. And, we could probably do a draws in all of those, to be honest, just so, if we get 6 points and they get a draw, it's just going to make such a difference. So that you're absolutely right. That weekend is going to be the biggest weekend in the last 10 years, without a shadow of a doubt, since the magic of the Premier League and everything. That there is not going to be a bigger weekend than that.
No,
it's a massive weekend for the Championship, to be honest.
Yeah, that Monday is that Monday could be a sign of who will stay up and go down. Really.
Yeah, I think that's a crucial period where all the teams look at it, don't they? And I think Pompey. It's not long after they play Leicester as well. At some point, I think it's a few weeks later. Obviously, they've got Ipswich in the game in hand that they'll obviously take on as well in them few weeks. So I think I think going on Easter Monday onwards, they're really crucial fixtures for the teams who are down there. I think April is a massive month in this relegation battle to who goes where, who stays up, who's down into League One. We're more focused on the bottom half of the table, aren't we, rather than what goes on in the playoffs. I mean, that's not our scenario to think about. Evening, Phil. How are we? Michael. Hello to Jack. Hello to Eli and Dan. Better than nothing, still in the mix. See, my sort of thoughts on the game yesterday, we looked a lot more stronger defensively, but then your best part of your defence is your attack. You've got to be putting the ball in the net. And I always say, and I said this to a Watford fan yesterday, I've said it to a Leicester fan walking away from the ground yesterday, and they said, but Leicester had 15 shots in the game. I said, stats doesn't matter if you're not putting the ball in the net. It only matters if you're scoring more than the opponent, and nobody scored more than anybody yesterday. So that's a massive problem in itself that it's like we've tried up a little bit up front, and Abdul feels the opportunity to keep relying on himself to create a lot more chances because he's not getting enough from others. I think if you look at Winks, Skip and JJ yesterday, I thought the midfield three did their job. It was all over. I thought the defence, Coley and Lascelles worked yesterday for me. Stolasic didn't have much to do. I mean, he could have got his deck chair out as much as the Watford goalkeeper yesterday. So, Ricardo, I thought he had a steady game. Luke Thomas, I thought he handled Imran Kunda quite well yesterday. But then you're looking at what we've got up front. Abdul, Steffi, Daka. It screams a lot of pace, doesn't it? It screams that you'll actually create a lot more with Mavi and Abdul out wide, but then we don't seem to be doing enough. It's like, I thought yesterday we were too direct with Abdul. I don't think Steffi had a lot of the ball, more than what Abdul did. But then I thought collectively we defended a lot better. We were more structured. We wasn't allowing Watford that space to keep whipping that ball in. They had to keep passing it around the box like bloody we do every week. So I thought we minimised them in a lot of areas yesterday, where you look at Imran Loser, absolutely ran the show in the first game we took on Watford, but then yesterday it's just non-existent at all. So we'd stop that scenario happening again. And
it helped when the cells flattened him.
I thought we did quite well. I thought we did quite well defensively. I thought we were good in possession. The only thing that Leicester like is scoring the goals. Yes, we might have been better than Watford, but we need to be winning games. These draws are not good enough for Leicester at this point of the season. I felt sort of disappointed with the point yesterday. Yes, we've gained a point on Oxford to go on the same points and gained a point behind Portsmouth, but if we won, we'll be out of the relegation zone. And it puts the pressure back on Portsmouth and Oxford to catch Leicester. So it's a bit of a weird situation, I'd say, yesterday. But then, like you boys say about Preston and Sheffield Wednesday, if we can go to get 6 points out of them, two crucial fixtures over Easter, and teams like Oxford and that can carry on dropping points, it helps us out and puts us in a bit more of a confident sort of mood to sort of progress a lot more. But right now, we're sort of going to be feeling that pressure again. So I'm not quite sure. Eli, should we discuss Pats and Daka? I don't know what to say. Penalty. There it is. There he is, the man in the moment. The lights was on him yesterday in that penalty moment to go and deliver, Eli. Should we have a look back at the penalty and what went wrong?
Daka scores! Run the pitch! Come on, Patson! Come on, Patson! Oh my fucking God! Oh
no! There's my reaction. Sums it up yesterday. See, talk to me about the penalty, Eli.
Look, I think
we probably have hoped somebody else would take the penalty, to be honest. Someone who's been a bit more sharper, and the pressure should never have been put on Daka in that situation. It should have been someone like Jordan James, who's handled the pressure well this season. Abdul, maybe the two players I'd have looked at to take that penalty yesterday. But Pats and Daka was given the ball. Probably didn't look confident stepping up to the plate yesterday. A lot of pressure on his shoulders. And Daka, well, we say he missed, but then people say, yeah, but the keeper saved it. He didn't miss because he didn't hit it wide. So obviously he did miss because it's a big chance in the game to put Leicester ahead not long before half time. So what do you sort of take from that, from Daka's penalty miss at Vicarage Road yesterday?
I think, first of all, you're right. I probably would have had maybe 5 different players that I'd have had on that penalty ahead of him, if I'm honest. But then on the other hand, Daka's taken 3 and not missed 1. You know, he scored all 3 of his previous penalties for Leicester. So I can understand it from both sides. Now, he's hit it low, he's hit it hard, he's gone bottom left, but it wouldn't have taken a rocket scientist to have figured out where he was going to put that from his run-up. Like, I think everyone saw that and knew he was going bottom left. Keeper went early. You know, like you said, you know, he's hit it low, he's hit it hard, he's hit it on target, you know. which is better than what Ayew did against Charlton, for example. He hit the post, didn't he? So keeper tips it onto the post. Technically it's a good save, but it was just so easy, where he's going to go. It's a good save.
It's a predictable penalty.
It's a predictable penalty. You're right, but not taking anything away from the keeper, because look, at the end of the day, it's definitely in the striker's favour to put it in from 12 yards. And I think any keeper that saves a penalty deserves a bit of plaudits, and probably in my view, it's a good save, but like you said, it's a very predictable penalty. I think we all knew where it was going to go, and I think not very many of us were very confident that was going to go in when we saw him stood there. So it's a difficult one, isn't it? So, but like you said, I probably would have had Jordan on it, or I'd probably be more specific with the Jordans, haven't I? Jordan James. So,
Richard kind of got lost in the moment, mate. To be fair, I do apologise. I probably would have been on the pitch yesterday. Patson Daka had scored. I'd have been getting a piggyback off him to take me to the Leicester fans, But anyway, it probably put him off, to be fair, because we'd sang it once to Ahmed Musa at Sheffield United, and he ended up scoring in the end, and we were hoping a bit of a Daka. But you want him to score, Dan, in that moment. And what I sort of find is, and I spoke to you about it earlier on today, that it seemed very much like a Maddison penalty when Maddison had that penalty against Everton. That the pressure was there. He's been given a role that he shouldn't have been anywhere near, but he's took that responsibility. And obviously, it's same in the same situation as what that one did in the 22-23 season, a miss.
No, Maddison tried to be too clever for his own good with that one, because he just tried to chip it down the middle. But hello, tribe. But no, like I say, I think we're doing the keeper a little bit of discredit. Yeah, it is on the striker or the penalty taker to score, but at the same time, if the keeper guesses the right way and gets a hand on it and saves it, then, fair play to him. You can't sort of really chastise the forward, because at the same time, if the keeper doesn't guess the right way and it rolls in the bottom corner, nobody argues. Or, like I say, he doesn't quite get across enough quick enough to reach the bottom corner. Yeah, okay. It wasn't the most powerfulest of penalties, and hence why it gave the opportunity to the keeper to save it, but still save it nonetheless. It's like I say, that's why I can't call it a miss, because it's been saved. A miss is when it's wide of the goal, over the goal, whatever it is, within, not hitting in between the three, the two posts and the crossbar. That's a miss. Keeper saving it is one of them. Unless, like I say, you've been like Maddison, you've tried to be too clever for your own good, and the keeper's not been sold by it. I feel it's a bit harsh on the goalkeeper. He's pulled off good. He still guessed the right way. So I'm more concerned about his header at the back stick that he fluffed. And
we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
I'm still not quite sure why he done what he done, if I'm being honest. So, but yeah, the penalty is a penalty. It's one of those things. You're expected to score as a striker. You're not supposed to save it in regards of a goalkeeper. When a goalkeeper guesses right and gets a good hand on it, it's fair play to the keeper.
Fair enough. Clibbo says Rowett has definitely toughened up Leicester a bit, but I just can't see him being able to improve things enough with his time left. It's very optimistic to expect us to stay up now. We put ourselves in a difficult situation, Clibbo. Isn't hindsight a wonderful thing? Well, it is, with what Dan said about if the keeper goes the other way, then it's a different scenario. But anyway, Daka missed, and that's what we are sort of alluded to, that it's a big moment in a game. it's the biggest opportunity of the half to give Leicester the leeway. I think Pompey were losing at that point. Oxford was as well. So if we go in front, it's sort of something to build on for the second half. But it's sort of it keeps reverting back to me that this season that these big chances that we keep having, we're not taking them, and it's sort of punishing us a lot more than making things better. It puts a lot more pressure on us that it's always could have, should have, would have with us this season, that these chances and they're being squandered more times than they're going in the back of the net, I feel. And Patson, he had his head on his hands. I think I bloody did and all. I think he used a few F-bombs after he'd missed the penalty, and I'm a bit angry after. Anyway, the second half we're 0-0. Mavididi had an opportunity. Keeper saved it, Eli. Mikasa came on, he had the opportunity as well, but we then revert to another massive chance for Leicester in the game. And we talk about big chances. This is probably another big chance that we'll probably maybe regret in the long run with how the game was going.
How the fuck's this?
See, that's a peach of a ball from Bobby Reid, and Daka just has to head it into the net. I don't know how he's missed. It's an open goal. The keeper knew he were beaten, but to not get any conviction of arrowing it into that corner into an empty net, it's just poor. It's poor for us to miss that, and that's the second big opportunity for him in the game to again put Leicester ahead. But two massive chances for Daka, and he squandered both.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I say, I'm not sure why he's gone to head it. He could easily stay on his feet and side foot that in for me, and not be an issue. I know Clibo's saying about was it offside or not.
I think there were a goal kick. Some Watford fans said. I think he said the goal kick, the linesman reverted into a goal kick. I think that's what he reverted to with his flag. Some people thought it were offside. Some Watford fans.
Yeah, no, he wasn't offside. But even still, whether Patson thought he was offside or not, as a centre forward, you put the ball in the back of the net and then you wait for the referee to make a decision. You don't worry about whether you are or not. You just get on with it, score the goal, and wait for the decision whether he points to the centre circle or points to the linesman as an offside. That's it. Not having that as an excuse.
It's a shocking miss from a striker.
He's not very good centre forward.
It's awful. I couldn't believe he didn't score when the ball hit. And I seen him made it. I should hit the back of the net, and it went wide somehow.
Well,
it's just not good enough.
No,
it's just not good enough.
I was shouting goal the moment the ball came in, because I thought there's no way that somebody's not going to get on the end of that and put that in the back of the net.
Skippy left it.
Yeah, exactly.
That post.
As I said, I still struggle to understand what decision he came to decide to head it. Because he's had to get down really low as well to try and head it. So
I mean, decision making has been something we've brought up on quite a lot of these things now over the last few weeks, isn't it? You look at the way we've defended and the decision making and how we've done that, and are we alert enough? Are we concentrating enough? Are we making the runs that we should be making as a striker, as a centre back, as a goalkeeper when the ball's played over the top? We're having the same conversations every week around this sort of thing. Around they're just not doing it, and Patson Daka should be. And I know we don't like talking about how much money someone's on, something like that. When you're the highest paid player in the league, you have to be putting those away in a relegation battle. You cannot miss those chances, because those are the chances that are going to bite us on the butt at the end of the season.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, quite possibly, and that's where it comes back to, as we were saying at the beginning of the show. Is it 2 points dropped or is it a point gained? When you look back over the season on the attempts that he's had to wrap a game up for us or win us a game, and he's not taken. So, we're in the position we're in through childlike or junior-like football decision making. Whether it's at the up front or at the back, and they're the two places in a football match where it costs you. So you'd like to hope
I look at it. I look at the other game, Dan, when we were thinking, you said about chances that he had, and you look back at the Southampton game, obviously, we're 3-0 up, 3-1, and he's one-on-one with the keeper, and he tries to dink it over the keeper and puts it wide. That makes it 4-1. They ain't coming back from 4-1.
No,
that completely kills the momentum. And obviously then what happened, didn't it? But
that's it. There was another one as well where he's through and had the chance to head it over the top of the keeper and headed it wide. I can't think who was that was against. I mean, it's been a little bit harsh because he was lucky to get a head on it at all, but as opposed to heading it straight and into
was it the Middlesbrough game?
Yeah,
away from
that was it. Middlesbrough away.
On the second half,
yeah.
The game should have been dead and buried at 2-0. It would have been 2-0 if he actually scored that.
Caleb had scored. Yeah.
These are the chances what's costing us, though, boys, this season up front, and this is down to the football club for not planning to get a better striker in. Daka's been here over 4 years now.
Yeah,
he just hasn't cut the mustard. Jordan Ayew gets that number 9 shirt because he requests it, and he's done fuck all up front either. So we're in a position here because we've put ourselves in this position. The club have put ourselves in this position, not signing an out-and-out striker to even replace Jamie Vardy when Vardy left. So again, you look at what Rag says here. How much of our present situation is due to our failure signing an adequate striker? It's a lot, isn't it? It feels like we're playing with 10 men. You look at Ayew, he's not up front. He's everywhere else his position. Then you look at Patson Daka, he plays back to goal rather than looking at goal. So, and then the bloody both fall over, don't they, more times than not. And we need a bit of clinical, and it feels like when we've both got them up front, we're playing with 10 men all the time because it's like we've not got enough up there, and we trust the strikers to do their job because they're not being paid. Well, they're being paid for something that's a title, but not doing what that title sort of involves.
Yeah, I mean, I know, I understand what you're trying to say with that, Jack, but with Ayew up top, yes, it is very much like playing with 10 men. When Daka is playing up top, it's not playing with 10 men. He just can't score goals. What is his main job to do? But it's not like we're missing a player. He does put the back four under pressure a lot.
Yeah.
And even yesterday, he still nearly nicked one off the centre half there. Who then panicked, and the goalkeeper, who then panicked and just whacked it out of play. So he does give us that. But what we've got to be better at is, as a side, is we know neither of them can score, but we have to play Patson. One, because he gives us more, and two, because he does create space for others to fill in. And that's sometimes the issue that we have with not having, somebody to fill in that hole, really, who again is serving a purpose. Whether we like it or not, Bobby Reid's probably been the best person to have done that so far, hence why he's scored 5-6 goals from that position this season. But unfortunately, to have the control like what we did yesterday in the game, we need to have JJ, Winks and Skip. And there was a slight change in the formation because he left Skip in front of the back four and he played JJ and Winks together. But obviously then that just left a big gap between Patson. But again, if you're smart as a coach, you then tell one of your two wide men to narrow up and be within 10, 15 yards of Patson, so he's not isolated. There are ways of working around these, but we just don't seem to do it. Our wide men are exactly that. They stay out wide, the ultimate chalk on your boots thing. And, we need one of them, probably mainly Steffi, as he's the one that doesn't get the ball so much. It does more go out to Abdul. It always has done since he arrived at the football club and got himself into the team. So it must be Steffi that comes and steps inside more. But he's a bit of a reluctant guy at the minute to do anything.
What was what I found really interesting when I saw the lineup was that is very typical Gary Rowett football for him to play three across the middle essentially rather than the number 10, and that allows obviously you mentioned Oliver Skip was that what we class as the holding midfielder, and the two obviously got Harry Winks and Jordan James that are then able to sort of cover a little bit more wider and be able to let Mavididi and Fatawu stay up top more. So when you do get the ball and you catch them on the counter attack, you're able to sort of step up as a team then, and you've obviously got Mavididi and Fatawu up top already as a front three essentially. But the problem is, like you said, Mavididi is stopping, cutting back, things like I just want to see him run at an opponent and scare the hell out of them, which is what we know he can do. I want to see him more as like an inside forward rather than this inverted winger where he's literally like warming up with the lads on the touchline, isn't he? It's
exactly that.
I just want to see him running at them, putting them under pressure, scaring the life out of a fullback. You had a centre back on a yellow card already. Run at them, and that's just what I thought we missed yesterday was putting them under pressure, scaring them, doing what no fullback in the world wants a fast winger, particularly the likes of Mavididi and Fatawu running at them. Look what happened when Fatawu got round the fullback. We win a penalty. But I just think I just want to see more. I like the midfield three. I thought it worked. That's exactly what Gary Rowett did at Millwall. It's exactly what he did at Birmingham, and it's exactly what he did in certain games at Oxford. So it's nice to see that they've now got 2 weeks to try and work on actually working on that formation, because I think it works. And I think certainly against the teams where we are better than them on paper, our midfield three is going to be better than Preston's without a shadow of a doubt. It's better than Sheffield Wednesday. It's going to be better than Swansea's. It's going to be better than Portsmouth's. We've got to start playing to our strengths and not just playing the same formation every single week. If we have to be slightly different for different opponents, that's what a coach is paid to do, is to figure that out.
Right. So they're our best bit three for playing in the middle, without a doubt. And as JJ gets fitter, he'll become stronger, and he'll be able to make that gap up between whoever's up top, Patson or Ayew. Hopefully, let's say, I still stand by. I never want to see Ayew in a Leicester City shirt ever again. I don't know how he managed to worm his way on the pitch yesterday. Still, I would have gone and moved Bobby inside and put Macassar up top and used one of the other lads out wide. He's done it before with Aribo and just plugged a hole to finish the game up. I know he's probably going to say, but he's not going to win us something. But at the same time, he's not going to lose us something. So,
what about this? Mavididi started out as a striker, right? And I sort of said about it this season about why don't I put Steffi down the middle and put somebody else out left, and maybe put Steffi down the middle instead of bringing Daka or Ayew. Stick them both on the bench if it needs be, and put Steffi down the middle and see if that works. Because Steffi's been he hasn't been in the goals this season, has he? So I think he's only scored 2 goals all season in all competition. He's got 2 assists to his name. It just hasn't been good enough out wide, has he? He's not been the Steffi Mavididi under what we had under Enzo Maresca, where he was really driven. He was good. He looked strong. He could take the players on where it looked like didn't it, in that championship winning season a few years ago. So I don't know. Would you sort of maybe trial Mavididi down the middle? Do you think it could work, Dan?
Yes, potentially it could work. Do I trust him to play down there? I'm not so sure.
Okay.
I think that will give him the thought process of being lazier than what he already is. I find him an incredibly lazy player. And I think, but at the same time, he'll be the opposite again of Ayew, of that he'll just stand up top the width of the 18-yard box and drop deeper as their back four pushing deeper. That's my only worry with Steffi at the minute. I would really love the opportunity to be able to find out what is wrong with him. You know, again, he went from having an exceptional season under Enzo to then, and I understand it a bit, with Steve Cooper then taking over, bringing Bobby Reid in, playing Bobby over the top of him, and missing the first few games of the Premier League, and he must have just been sat there thinking, what the hell's gone on here? And I think from that moment in, and I'm not really having it as an excuse, but I understand, you know, what his thoughts and that might be about it is that he's gone kind of like a bit of a, well, fuck you. I wasn't good enough then, so why am I good enough now? And that you can't really do that as a professional footballer. You just have to put your big boy pants on, suck it up, and prove people wrong.
Yeah, that's caused a lot of critics in it, you know.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, when you're then out of form, or when he come back into the side, we were a side that were struggling extremely, and you're then trying to force things and trying to find things to work and happen to try and keep in. And sometimes you can then try a bit too hard, and then that affects your confidence even more until he's absolutely shot to bits. But he's the one at the start of the season saying, bring your popcorn, lads, we're going to have a lot of fun this season.
We're having a lot of fun this season. Yeah, well, it's not really been fun so far, is it? Watching us without a striker in there and not really doing a lot up front and not taking big chances which are costing us games and points. Eli, Rag says here, the wingers are not good enough to carry us without a striker, which is a fair assessment. If we'd had a 10-goal striker, we would be 7 places higher.
Yeah, you know, I think at any level of football, you've got to have. You know, you look at any other team in the league, they've got themselves a centre forward. Even the teams down the bottom. You look at West Brom, they've got Hedegaard, isn't it? You know, look at Oxford, Lancashire. You look at, you know, even Sheffield Wednesday, like Jamal Lowe. I know he hasn't banked, you know, but he's putting them away, even with the, you know, the way they're playing.
With the minimal,
you know, Swansea got to pop it.
Jerry Yates is scoring.
But you know, it's just at any level of football, whether it's Premier League, League One, League Two, National League North, you've got to have a number 9 that can score goals. And the ones that don't have a number 9 are the ones that are always down the bottom. And I think that this is the problem we've got. Is this isn't just from when Jamie Vardy left the club.
No,
this has been going on for years.
We've
you know,
never had a backup.
Back him up. We've not had a backup. We've not had, you know, you think about it, like 2 years ago, if Jamie Vardy would have got injured, what would we have done? There was no plan B. Who's going to go up front? You know, I actually like the sound of, like, I've got a friend that's a Man City fan, and Divine Makassa for the Man City youth teams has played so much up front as this false 9 that if we're going to play this 3-man, but if we're going to play this 3-man midfield, it's a little bit deeper. Actually playing a false 9 might work for us, because then you've got that number 9 dropping into the 10 to be able to play the balls, and that might utilise Mavididi and Fatawi better.
Well, the other thing with Makash as well, the other thing with Makash as well is he does have the ability and the skill to go and beat a player as well, whereas our other 2 options do not. You know, even Patson with his pace. Yeah, he'll knock the ball past the defender, but he'll hit it that hard it'll go out of play for a goal kick, and he can't catch it.
And I've not seen a player like Makassa that's got a first touch like that in a long time. You know, the way he can control it, and we sit here every week and we'll be like, the ball will come into Macassa's foot and it's like a bloody magnet, isn't it? That's around the wrong way and it just flicks off and goes the other way. That's why I call him Magnet Daka. But, I just don't, the whole Mavadidi thing up front, again, I'm not sure on that. He's got one goal every 1,300 minutes. So you're talking like one goal every 14 games. So you've got to, I think, again, are we just moving, like you mentioned, a lazy player?
Square pegs in round holes, basically.
The problem is the fact that we don't have a number 9.
Yeah, that's it. And
that's my struggle.
That's been our issue for a number of years. As we've had no backup to Vardy. Vardy has pretty much, said for a long while he was going before he actually went, and we still didn't really do anything. Like I say, after a season and a half, we knew Patson weren't good enough. But did we move him on? No, because we gave him too much money in wages, so we couldn't then get rid of him to anybody. And it's one of those failures of the club yet again on overpaying, over giving of wages and fees for not a lot. And that's it.
Boys,
yes, we already have 2 false 9s.
But boys, do you not think we already have 2 false 9s, and are you in Daka or just not there? In the number 9 position.
Very, very clever.
You got 1 false 9 and a left back.
Oh, yeah, that's it. 1 false 9 and a left back.
I totally echo what Dan said earlier on. I really do not want to see him wear a Leicester shirt again this season. There was probably no reason yesterday.
He doesn't offer anything, and I think the only thing he offered when he came on yesterday would look like the Watford player was carrying him out for Leicester City. Looked like one of them drunken nights out, and Jordan Iwood picked a fight with the wrong bloke and he would get carried out the nightclub. That's what it looked like yesterday.
Yeah.
He was probably being picked up off the floor, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, there were a massive sort of bust up because all the players started pushing each other after Jordan Iwood.
Well, Bobby knocked the ball away from the goalkeeper, didn't he? As he went to kick it upfield, and the goalkeeper got a little bit upset with him. So he thought, it's only little Bobby Reid. I can bully him about, and then Jordan Iwood went him. Because if it had been anybody else, if it had been JJ that done it to him, he'd probably have thought, twice about it. But when you've got a 5'7" little winger, that's knocked you over. I mean, that's embarrassing in itself. It's easier when you're 6'4" to come out swinging at him. I'm actually surprised that the goalkeeper didn't get in more trouble than he did for that. Because he's well, I mean, the keeper's got it in one hand, so he's quite in his rights to go for it.
He's not had full control of the ball because he's not got both hands on it.
He can. As a, I'll say it again. As a ref, you cannot. If the keeper's got the ball in one hand, he hasn't got control of the ball. But the only, if he's got it in 2 hands and bounces it, that's classed as in control of the ball.
Yeah.
So he's technically within his rights to do that.
That's it. That's what I mean.
That's just a 2-footer, Christian. To be fair, mate, that's a red card offence. If I'm honest with you, it should never have happened. But Crystal Palace fans will always tell you about Jordan Ayew. He's not a striker. He just simply isn't a striker, and he shouldn't be given that opportunity to. I know, obviously, he plays for the Ghana national team. Is he captain for Ghana? Is he?
Yeah.
But look, I get this. I hear this so much. Look, they're playing and I don't mean this to be disrespectful.
No, I'm with you, really. Yeah.
But they're playing the likes of Mali, Zanzibar,
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe,
the equivalent of the dog and duck. Yeah,
it's different. It's different to no disrespect. Obviously, league football.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why you've got players in the national north and the national south making international duty for teams in Africa, and it's the same. It's the same with some of the sort of Caribbean islands as well, and things. This is the sort of,
how are we calling?
I'm not being funny, and I don't. And again, I say this with all due respect. If I was Ghanaian, I'd probably have had 100 caps.
Yeah, that's
You
it.
know what I mean? I probably would have
I
scored
think
50.
you'd have scored a lot more goals.
Yeah, I'd probably got 50 goals for the Ghanaian team. Like if some of the, and don't get me wrong, they get their every year they'll get their game against Cameroon or Nigeria or Tunisia or Egypt, things like that, and they're the big games. But 90% of the games are against like dog and duck teams at the end of the day. So
I had a lad that was, well, I say part of one of my teams in non-league, and he come along, said Mali international, had showed us all the photos of his caps and all the rest of it, because we were like, right, okay, yeah, we've heard this a few times from some of these lads who just turn up wanting to sign for the season and things like that, and like I say, we were like laughing at him. The lads are having their rondos and stuff at the start, and he's just chasing around. Lo and behold, international break comes up. We get a letter from Mali. Can you release this player? We understand he didn't even play for us. He barely made it into the reserve team, and we're just like, what is going on here?
And that's the exact point.
Really some of them really turn out to be really good players, though. There's sometimes the hidden gems there with these players.
Yes, there are some exceptional ones, but you'll get one in a side, and unless you're in the bigger ones, like you say, like Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria. The rest of them, I mean, I know you've got Morocco in there now and bits like that, but the rest of them.
I mean, they've just won is it the AFCON? Is it Morocco? They've just been named the AFCON winners after stripping the.
Careful, Jack. Careful.
Well, was it Senegal? Was it obviously won the AFCON? And then
Senegal won it, but they buggered off for an hour because they weren't happy with the penalty that got given to Morocco. If come back on.
Well, this is it.
But there's a big debate about that because
there is.
We continued the game. Somebody else in the boardroom's made a decision and gone, well, we're not happy with that, so we're giving it to somebody else. And you can't do that.
Yeah.
My opinion. You continued the game. The 90 whatever minutes finished.
Simple as that.
Senegal won it. They raised the trophy on the day. That's it. End of.
Yeah. QPR been playing more themselves. Crushing defeat. Yeah, he talks about Portsmouth. Our last game. How worried should we be? Not make relegation. Pompey got Norwich and Ipswich to play. Could be very disheartening for Pompey, mentality-wise, from not having a. See, that's the part. Yeah, I've seen one of the Pompey players were in tears yesterday after the time, and that's obviously
their fans are about as happy as ours at the minute.
Well, you get that with bloody ears, don't you, after games when we don't perform to the levels that we should be performing to, and we just give up. And this is basically what Pompey fans would be pissed off that they had 20 shots yesterday and couldn't even convert one. So it's a problem. But then you look at the striking stats, Eli. This is what you sent us earlier. This is the comparison between Jordan Ayew and Patson Daka with our attacking struggles this season. So obviously two of them's Jordan Ayew's. He scored 2 penalties. So if you look at outfield, obviously Daka scored 3 outfield shots. And then Jordan Ayew scored 3 outfield shots. So they're level on that. Jordan Ayew has played.
One of Ayew was laid through by Oxford as a back pass, weren't he? So
Yeah. So minutes played for Ayew 2,161 minutes to Daka's 1,491. 1 goal every 432.2 minutes is what Jordan Ayew's goal ratio is to Patson Daka's 497 minutes. Bang on. Shot ratio, Jordan Ayew has a shot every 51.5 minutes.
And that doesn't mean it's on target.
Bloody hell. Patson Daka has a shot every 41.4 minutes. So
Jack, just to sort of add on to that, that those total shots there are physical shots. They could be on target, off target. What makes this look even worse is Jordan Ayew in 2,161 minutes has had 16 shots on target. 16.
That's the more worrying thing.
Yeah, and Patson Daka in 1,491 minutes has had 12 shots on target. And you've got to factor in that 2 of those shots on target for Ayew are penalties.
Yeah.
In fact, 3 of them. Well, 2.
One's off target.
One at the post in there. So Jordan Ayew has 1 shot on target every 135 minutes. So every 1.5 games, basically, he'll have a shot on target. And very, very similar for Patson Daka. Every 124 minutes, he has a shot on target. That backs up everything we've just spent the last 20 minutes talking about.
Yeah,
it really. Well, you got the stats to back it up, haven't you? And you know, stats obviously need backing up in what it is. Mark says here, I remember 1993-1994 playoff final. Steve Walsh, Ian Ormonroyd, Ewan Roberts up front. That worked. Agreed. Mikasa, Vestergaard, and Akoli or Mavadidi up top. Hello. Do you know what? Vestergaard as a striker wouldn't be that bad if he kept whipping the high balls into him because he'd win the headers. He'd probably score a few headed goals, to be honest. I think bloody Akoli would do a better job and all. I think he'd do a better job with his head than his feet. I watched that game. The only Litter could have done that, mate. Unbelievable. Big up, Colin.
He's on about it winning last week at darts.
Yeah, he was 5 on that, wasn't he?
Yeah. Right. Let's discuss individuals yesterday. We've obviously spoken about Patson Daka. We spoke about his misses. But then obviously he does a lot of running around and that, but he was very pedestrianised yesterday, I thought. Didn't he? I think he had more times on the floor than he had chances in that second half, but obviously big chances. The defence is what I want to cover with you boys. Caleb Akoli and Jamal Lascelles yesterday. See, I thought they was quite solid, but then I pull up a stat here about Gary Rowett. Rowett has now had 7 matches in charge with Leicester. In 6 out of his 7 matches, Leicester have won more ground duels than their opponents. The match they didn't was his first match against Stoke. For context, they only managed this 8 times in 20 matches prior to his appointment. Mm-hmm. So Gary Rowett's improved Leicester regarding the duels.
Defensive wise, like I say, there's no doubt about that. He's improved us defensively, but we've sacrificed the goals that we were scoring because, you look at our goal scoring, we are by far the highest in that bottom half. We are in the top half of the league for goals scored. It was our goals conceded. So unfortunately, sometimes that happens until you get the balance sorted. Hopefully we'll perhaps start turning a corner where we are, we get back to scoring a few more goals. As JJ comes back and gets fitter, as the side hopefully settles now after the international break, because then that's it all the way through to the end of the season. Injuries permitting, that there won't be too many changes from that side yesterday. But it's always the frustrating thing. You can be scoring goals but not scoring enough to win games because we're conceding too many. Like we've said for weeks, we've got to score at least 2 to win a football match. And you can't continue to do that. So you then tighten up at the back, but then you stop scoring. And like I say, until you have the time to sort it out. Whether we have enough time or not, who knows? The fortunate thing for us is, I believe, even though we're not great, we've got the games to turn it round. And that's where I am with it, I'm still very positive in the fact that as long as we, over these next 3 games, including the Swansea one, we get a minimum of 6 points out of it, we'll be fine, because the others aren't able to still do what we're doing, even though we are, it sounds ridiculous when we're third from bottom. I think they've got harder games. They're going to find it harder to pick up points, as opposed to ourselves, where, and again, without sounding stupid, we have stronger squads than all of those around us. I know we're not doing it in a minute, but yesterday showed me that we are on the right path. And realistically, other than the 2 home games, we've been all right. All right, we've not got enough wins, 3 home games. In regards to the QPR and the Norwich one, yes, we've not got the wins on the road. We've come away with draws, but still, with the sides that we're coming up against next, there's a good 3-4. It's only Millwall, which is the stumbling block.
Millwall and Hull,
Yeah, I totally agree, to be honest. And I'm looking at it and thinking, well, we got 2 clean sheets in, what was it, like 34 games or something like that? Yeah. We got 50% of our clean sheets in the last 7 games.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, in the last 3 games, really, haven't we? Let's be honest. But, I'm firmly with you, Dan. Like last week, obviously we were on this and I said, I think we're going to go down. And then I obviously said to you as well on that chat, ask me again in a week's time.
That's it.
Exactly. Man's flip-flopping already.
I'm like a coin.
Oh.
There it is. But I saw enough yesterday, and that's what I was saying, those words I wrote down at the start: heart, character, pride, teamwork. They were working as a team. They were playing for the badge. They were running their asses off again. I saw enough that, again, this could all change at Preston. But, this, I'm feeling slightly more confident about it. And again, you're right. Preston, Sheffield Wednesday, Swansea, Portsmouth. Look, all we need to go and do is string some results together. And this is a totally different situation. And the conversation after Easter, we're all going to be sat here having a different conversation. Yeah, then we've got Millwall and Hull. They're going to be tough games. No one's going to say they're easy games, but they're also going to be fighting for their own lives. They're either going to be in the playoffs already and resting players, hopefully, or they're going to be playing for their lives, and the pressure's on them, and the pressure's on them just as much as it's on us.
But also, what you would like to hope is that after those games, and providing, we get the right results, that then should give them the confidence to go on. And you never know what's going to happen after that, Exactly. As you say, they could flake under the pressure of, especially for Millwall, of potentially getting automatics, and then things don't work out because the players have never been there before, and how to play those games in the end. You can't even say that they've got an experienced manager in that area because he's not been in that situation before. So,
and they've got to play a lot of the teams around us as well.
Yeah,
Millwall are going to be pretty crucial to what happens, and same with Sheffield Wednesday. They've got a lot of the teams around the bottom. Hull are playing, a lot of us have to play the same team, so it's going to be, a lot of these are going to be 6-pointers anyway. Obviously the ones for us with Portsmouth, that is an enormous game for us.
It's your 6-pointer. Oxford, Portsmouth, 6-pointer.
Yeah, I don't think it will go down to the last day of the season, to be honest. I think
whatever
happens will be decided by Blackburn.
Yeah,
it'll be April from the start to the finish. Where you're going to find out
these next 4 games. Honestly, you could sit here and you look at it and you go, actually, do you know what? We could probably, we could pick up 12 points. You never know.
We
just string the wins together and get the performances.
It's easier said than done with Leicester. So
exactly. And, but we could also very easily pick up none.
We've sat here many times, haven't we, saying the same thing about Leicester, that trusting these players to actually turn up when we need them to, and they just haven't been doing it apart from that Bristol City game. So this is what I sort of worry with Leicester in the games that we've got coming up now, that are these boys actually going to turn up and do the job, because they didn't against QPR when they needed to. The Millwall game doesn't worry me. It's the Sheffield Wednesday game. Clibo, don't say Sheffield. We're not playing Sheffield FC. It's Sheffield Wednesday.
We'll get Steve Bracknell turning up next.
the Portsmouth game is the massive one for Leicester. The
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday game is a massive game. It's two big games. The Preston one is where I sort of worry and think we know what the home form's like the Swansea game. Do we crack under pressure because the home form's it's just not good enough, is it?
No, but their away forms for both of those two sides are terrible.
Yeah, welcome Leicester City in the gift that keeps on giving, Dan, is what I say. So let's say that quietly, though. Let's not let the players hear that because we don't want them to go and hand out points like it's Christmas. We know someone's birthday is coming up soon. Not joking. The Championship will be bloody difficult next season. Yeah, you'll have Burnley coming down, Wolves coming down.
Spurs coming down.
There's only one club in Sheffield. Don't tell them that. They're the oldest club, by the way. Oldest club. So, yeah, it's going to be a fascinating end to the season of have Leicester got the balls or will they get grinded by these teams again and we end up falling apart like we have done. That's the main thing. Yes, we defended well against Watford, but we need 2 and 2 to come together where we're getting the goals as well as defensive authority. So that's something Guy Rowett's going to have to work with his team now over the next 2 weeks. Obviously, we're going to be missing Jordan James on international break, Daka, Ayew, Fatawu. There's going to be quite a few players going out to internationals, aren't there, this time? Ben Nelson. It gives us a chance to get Vestergaard back, though. Harry Sousa might be back, maybe. I don't know.
I just can't see Sousa playing this season, if I'm honest.
No.
I'd say it's too risky.
It'd be Yannick, I think.
Yeah, Yannick will be back. But I think Yannick will be very important for the next...
Begovic will be back as well after the international break, is what he was alluded to. So that'll give us a bit more.
Aaron Ramsey as well.
They're the three.
Where does he fit back in?
Well...
But the strength and depth is what we've been lacking, isn't it?
Exactly. So... I'd rather have him fitting on the bench than not at all, because at the end of the day, he scored as many goals as what our two strikers have. So, and he's been missing for 3/4 of the season.
That's the thing. Anyone else impressed at Watford apart from Jamal Lascelles? Anyone you can really think of?
I thought Abdul had a good game again. I thought he caused all sorts of problems. And I know you seem to be slightly sceptical about the penalty, Jack, but I'm not quite sure why.
Eli, I effing hate referees, my friend. Sorry, you're a referee. I hate you and all. It's not a personal thing. As soon as you've got that outfit on me, that's it. We ain't friends. Anyway, let me discuss the penalty with you. See. Yeah. Watford fans have been very big on this on their forums and that about they feel that Abdul Fatawu dived for the penalty, right? And the referee gave it. Is that a penalty?
It's a stonewall penalty, mate. He's got his arm. He's made no genuine attempt for the ball. And I'll tell you what, mate. He's lucky that he's got away with just what he did because he's made no attempt for the ball whatsoever. He's been absolutely beaten for pace. He's been beaten by the player. He's in the penalty area. He's 6 foot from goal. He has got the option to play it back or to take the shot on goal. Technically, there is a very big argument that it could be Dogso because he's in a position to take a shot on goal. Is that centre-back going to come across? I don't know. I would probably have gone yellow. I think he was on yellow already.
Yeah, he was on yellow. That's the whole point. No, just with
he's lucky to not be gone. He
should have been booked and sent off, not 5 minutes before he got away with a penalty. Because he'd done the same again there. He pulled him and hacked him down. And he should have got a second yellow for that. The referee, for whatever reason, felt sorry for him. I think. I don't know. He's the only person who can answer that.
On paper. Yeah, on paper, that would be classed as a reckless challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it would be a yellow card because he's made no genuine ball. He's got one hand on his back, pushed him over. I actually think as well there was a clip on the feet as well.
It was, he's clipped him with his knee.
You know, he's made no attempt for the ball, and you can usually tell when a player goes like that. They know damn well that they've made a challenge they shouldn't have made. It's a yellow card, it's a reckless foul, and it's 100% a penalty.
Yeah, but like I said, you know, I don't know whether the ref felt sorry for him because he just got wherever the ball was, he was in the way of it yesterday. I found, you know, he was too close to play all the time, and you know, I think obviously he got in the way for the one where Watford felt that they should have still carried on and played on because it still went to their centre forward with his back to goal, who, again, I don't think he would have produced anything, but at the same time, you never know. So I think he felt bad about that. And there was a couple of other incidences where he gave or didn't give them the free kicks that they thought they should have got, but I don't really.
It all depends on the. It doesn't depend on the referee. You know, a referee would go into the change room before the game and have a discussion with both teams and would be like, "I'm going to play the advantage and as much as I possibly can," or you know, play to the whistle. You know, they're the sort of conversations a referee will have before the game. You know, so you know they'll know exactly what he's given it for, what he hasn't given it for, why he's given it, why he hasn't. Yeah. What the problem is the fans don't know. That's the difficulty with any decision.
Yeah, that's it.
Hold on. It. Right, here we go. Right, here's the penalty. Right, he ready? Right, talk me through this, Eli.
He's beating for pace. He's made no attempt for the ball. He's got his hand on his back. He's tripped him up. He's pushed him over. It's stonewall. Anyone that sits there and says that that's not a penalty doesn't understand the laws of the game.
I was going to say, I don't know what you're not seeing there, Jack.
Right, I'm looking close.
That's a penalty.
I didn't think it's not that I didn't think it wasn't. It's just when I sort of looked at it, and I'm sort of looking at it now. I said to Dan, I was pretty sure at the time that he clipped him. I thought it was a clip at the heels. I didn't think it was too much of a push in the back. I thought he clipped him on the heels. Because when I spoke to a Watford fan after the game, he said, "Oh, you got lucky with that." He said that's a blatant dive. So I said to him, "I'm going to have to go and look back at this." And then when I was looking back at it today, and I said it to Dan, I said, "What did you think to it?" And then he said, "Ask Eli about it because Eli will be on, and he's obviously a rep, so he'll give you the output."
Yeah, mate, it's a stonewall. If a referee didn't give that, I'd be really worried. Really worried.
At the end of the day, the first point of it is that he's behind Abdul,
and he's been beaten for pace.
He cannot make a challenge.
Yeah, that's it. He's just got to. He might as well have just stopped his run and let Abdul do whatever Abdul wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because the minute he does anything, Abdul's going to go over. Any player would, without a doubt.
And to be honest, it doesn't matter if people say it's theatrical, it's Tom Daly-like, he's gone down too easy. There's contact, and a player is entitled to go down when they get contact. Nine times out of 10, when a player goes down in the penalty area with contact, whether he's made a meal of it or not, it's a penalty.
Yeah.
I think his hand on his shoulder going into the box.
Yeah, he's been beaten for pace, you know. And what was funny was just before the penalty, though, Fatah was running down the wing and he got tackled, didn't he? And he was hitting the floor in frustration and stuff like that. So, you know,
it was the same player who'd done it. He should have been booked then as well.
Should have been booked. That changes the game. That really changes.
It's the second yellow, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's stopping the goal scoring. It's stopping the goal scoring opportunity. Really, if you look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, the ref could have made it really easy. Like he could have given the yellow card for it, and that changes the game. And B, it's the right thing to do. I can't. And you know, you're right. I think he's probably feeling sorry for him. You know, he's had a very rough 10 minutes, hasn't he?
It's a great challenge for a Watford point of view if he wasn't on a yellow card. But if he's already on a yellow card. It's a stupid challenge.
Jack, if that was down the other end, and that was Luke Thomas on, I don't know, their centre forward.
Yeah,
I would sit on this right now, and I would tell you that's a penalty as well.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Well, that's it. You've got to be neutral about it. You've got to take your team's hat off, haven't you, and sort of look at it from both sides of it. And that's what I said yesterday to my mate sat next to me, and he said, if Watford were down the other end, they'd have got the same decision.
Exactly.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
He said it's not biased. He just said it's just a true fact, and I said, yeah.
Yeah,
because the game's going at speed. When you're watching it live, you sort of can't keep the eye on it because you can't watch it back, can you, in the stand? But then when you get home, you sort of go back here and have a look and think, okay, then this is what this is a foul.
And what you have to remember as well, right? And you look at it from both sides here. From a referee's perspective on the pitch, they got one look.
Yeah,
we've just had what 10, 15 looks at that now. Like
the linesman would have had a look at that as well, though.
The linesman will be on the left back side, so he's right there. So he's he didn't need the linesman to give that. He didn't need the linesman because he gave it within seconds without even looking.
He had a good view of it. The referee.
The referee's made that decision. It's absolutely the right decision. And I'm sorry if there's any Watford fans in here, but that is absolute stonewall.
Yeah, I don't see where you can come up with an argument for it at all in any way, shape, or form. I think they're very fortunate that he stayed on the pitch, and it just goes to show because the guy got dragged at half time, so
they knew he should have been sent off.
They knew he should have been sent off, and they also knew that he wouldn't get away with another one because, as I said, there was a tackle not 5 minutes before that he should have walked for then. You know.
But again, this is my point from earlier on: is when a player is on a yellow card like that, and you've got them there for the taking, you've got to go at them.
Yeah,
and he did.
And we did it for the penalty. We win the penalty. But again, just keep doing it. You're going to he cannot make one challenge then because he's particularly after the penalty, he's on he's on his last legs.
Yeah.
So I just wish that they just run, get the ball for time, and let him run at them.
Yeah.
Take him down, great. Job done. I just can't understand why anyone would say that isn't a penalty.
It's clipped him from behind.
Yeah, it's not even the clip; it's the hand on the back.
Yeah.
There's no genuine attempt for the ball. So he's just a very, very lucky man that he stayed on the pitch.
I agree. I thought it should have been a second yellow card, but obviously Watford fans will tell you different in what they're saying. But again,
not really interested. If you're going to be silly like that, then there's not a conversation to be had.
Yeah.
But I thought with the other end, I don't think they'd have argued it. It's just what fans are like when they get a penalty given against their own team. It's just like, well, yeah, but that's not.
Yeah, it's always the referee's fault, though, isn't it?
It's always the referee's fault.
Trust me, I heard it earlier on. I refereed a game earlier on, and I had it all barrels from both ends. So
it's mad calling, mate. Honestly, it's been a 10 years of ups and downs. Well, bloody Leicester City, the roller coaster, what we call Leicester, and Anyway, that is it from us. I'll tell you what, we might as well have Eli on for bloody Sunday nights for bloody ref watch, Dan. So if any challenges come in when referees miss me games, we might as well get him on for ref watch and get to have a look at some of the challenges back.
I'll put my ref outfit on for it.
Yeah? Come in fancy dress.
Yeah. We'll get the VAR screen out for you as well. You can have a look and get your roller out. Anyway,
I'm always there. I'm there at every stadium. When they do that announcement, sometimes we're like, "Is there anyone in the crowd that's got a referee qualification?"
Yeah.
There, like with my kit in my bag ready, just in case.
That's it.
Guys at Lightboard, subscribe to the channel. We will be back with probably some more shows during the week or next week as well to sort of build the international break for what it is. Anyway, thanks for watching. Eli, appreciate you coming on. Dan, as always. And that's it from the Evening Whistle, mate. If you're watching us on Playback, let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Appreciate it. See you later, Colin. And we'll catch you soon.